piece of these coals into this fire.
And then there's some more tobacco here, so anybody that hasn't had a chance, you're more than welcome to come offer your tobacco to the fire at any time. And that tobacco is just your prayers and thoughts for the gathering, and anything else that's going on with you or your life or your relatives. You can put that in that fire and make your offering. So there's some right here for everybody.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota for an action. This is a fire that's been set in front of the roof depot, which is said to be demolished, which will unleash a cloud of arsenic from what the people here are saying and trying to stop it from happening. And we try to get you an interview really quick. It was brought in a little late in this, so we'll figure out what's going on together.
That was the first thing that these spirits were talking about, that we all have life. We all have a light in us, and that light exists in our heart. And they said that we feed that light by believing in ourselves, believing in others, loving, caring for one another, and that's how that light stays bright. So when you see somebody with good energy, you know, a lot of my relatives here brought good energy this morning. They took time out of their life to get up and say, hey, we're going to come here today and do something good, do something we believe in. They were feeding that spirit, they're feeding that light. So I just encourage everybody to continue to believe in one another, believe in what's right, believe in the good way that the Creator gave us, and that keep feeding your light, keep feeding your spirit. So be quick.
Hey Ben, your hand drum for the AIM song?
Can you just tell us why everyone's here?
Good morning. So, for those of you who are here, you already know this. But for those of you who are watching in the future, we're here because we have followed every protocol and every rule that the system has for the community and for the people to follow in their system that has been here to control and oppress our people for over 530 years. The Roof Depot sits here in South Minneapolis as a site that was home to a pesticide plant for over 30 years. There's a lot of poisons and toxins in the ground here. Arsenic. And there's demolition that's set to start on the 27th that our people have been fighting to stop for about 2 years now. For 7 years now. That have gone to city council. There has been court injunctions filed, temporary restraining orders filed, and we've exhausted every option. And so now, as the indigenous people, we are here on stolen land, on unceded land, on land that is treaty land that was never honored by the United States government under Fort Snelling to reclaim this land. And we're going to be having a press conference later today at 1 p.m. Invite everybody that you can to come, invite your media contacts, and we'll be sharing our message there and the demands that we have, and we're not going to move until those demands are met. I know.
Minnesota. Defend the Depot, 27th Street and Longfellow is where we're at. Let's do the Depot back here. You heard the speaker at the beginning. I think that there's a press release. We're going to try to get some more information out for folks. So there's going to be a press conference at 1 p.m. And last time they're planning to demolish this building. And underneath there's like a pick of arsenic, is what folks are saying. It's going to basically pollute this whole area.
Let's get tents set up on the other side of the second gate, and we need a larger people to help with the TV upgrade.
So it sounds like they're going to take this space and hold it. So it sounds like it's happening right now. They're going to be setting up a teepee. And so they're setting up some tents. And once it happens, there's a fire truck here. I assume somebody called it because there's a fire. My understanding, a spirit fire was started right away when they took the space. There was ceremony before we went live. Sunrise ceremony, a pipe ceremony, and offerings were given before the occupation, and then the spirit fire was started. So we're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 27th and Longfellow. They're saying they want people out here at 1 p.m. for a press conference. People are here already. Like I said, there's only this fire truck kind of overlooking what's going on, and we'll kind of see where things go from here. Again, I'm learning as you're learning, so let's just learn together, I suppose. And let's see what happens.
Well, tents might be going to people to help set up the TV. Lori's right there to set up the TV. We got pots rolling up there. You guys remember to stay peaceful and prayerful here.
Oh yeah, so there's some police officers showing up. Vehicle number 340, you can see there. So looks like they're coming out. You can see that the fire department's consulting with them. And then multiple police officers coming in now. I can see another vehicle down the street. So we'll go over and see what they're doing. Kind of this logging is showing up. I don't know what time it is. If you're out there, you can mark the time.
Now we got someone who...
So yeah, so there's chatting. I can see there's the teepee going up right there. We got two police vehicles sort of observing. Vehicle 340 and vehicle 322. It's good to mark those numbers people out there because the officers got to sign out their vehicles so they're logged as to who's in them, allegedly, I believe. So I'm gonna get not backlit. So these more likely those police officers aren't gonna do anything. They're gonna wait for more police officers. You can see there's more coming over here. Usually there's 4 cops now, 4 cop cars. They won't do anything, so they have a much bigger force they can apply. Right now there's not enough of them, so they'll be very nice. And once they get enough numbers, they'll come up and they'll make contact, and from there it'll just kind of develop. But usually right now they're going to observe. So they're setting up the teepees over here. Police are kind of gathering around. And they're getting materials out of the back of their vehicle, which I'm not sure what they're getting. I'm going to go find out. Again, my name is Sedna. I'm Director of Tactical Media here at the NDN Collective. We're out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where they're getting some jackets. And yeah, there's been an occupation of the roof depot. I don't think it's going to be an occupation. Vehicle 308 is now shut up. Vehicle 310 is now shut up. So you got 4 or 5 police officers. Look at they're observing again. They might leave. Minneapolis is a very Minneapolis. But so they're observing. Looks like these guys are gonna take off. Yeah. Welcome to Minneapolis, everybody. Looks like the cops are getting back in their vehicles. Yeah, they're gonna take off like that for a bit. Yeah. There we go. So now I know what's going on. They're gonna leave. There's actually a camera right here on this thing. The city camera. So they're gonna observe what's going on from there and back up. The police have dealt with a lot of unrest in the city, and they really changed their tactics over the years. And so they're purposely backing up from my experience of being here, because they're to try to create, so there is no tension because they're here. But they're probably going to be mobilizing a few blocks over, a little off-site. They're ready to move in if needed, but they're not going to be like a visible presence initially. And that's just how Minneapolis does it. Because they just fucked up so many times. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, so they have one officer now just observing. You can see that they're putting up this teepee right here. And like I said, there's a giant snowstorm coming in. I didn't bring out my best gear. I thought the snowstorm was going to be here already. You can see there's a rainbow. So people are working on this. They're setting up tents over here. I'll go back in there in a second. I'm just kind of like, we'll get a lay of the land together. But yeah, this is like pretty common. Like I assume the police might wait a bit. Maybe they'll wait for the snowstorm to now break it up. So they have signs up for no trespassing. You can see people are setting up tents. It's gonna be super intense. If they stay here, they probably will. In Minnesota. There's been multiple winter occupations actually. In 2015 there was an occupation of the police station in North Minneapolis. There was during the fall, winter was hitting, people stayed through snowstorms and stuff. So it's not like the snowstorm will stop them. It'll just be like real intense. So you can see this police officer's leaving now. And so yeah, so they're gonna move back. But I just assure you, they're just going to be collecting sort of resources somewhere else off-site, and then if they feel the urge to move in, they will move in. Yeah, there's people calling for more supporters to come out, more people to come out, hold the space. We'll get back in here. See if I can get you another interview. I think there's a press release that went out that we might have access to, and hopefully we'll be updating the Facebook event with that information.
I think the fire department came because of our spirit fire, but
Oh. Who could I speak to that has like the most context of what's going on here today?
You know what? Jolene?
Jolene? Jolene?
Hi.
You want to talk about what's going on here?
So, right, did he just nominate me? Cass, where are you? So we've been in a court battle with the city since they swiped this building out from under
I'm right here. Yeah, sorry.
the East Phillips Coalition, Epic. But I'm a little tired. But we're fighting because they want to demolish this building, and this is the arsenic triangle. And our Little Earth is right here. We're right on the other side here. You can see us.
And what's Little Earth?
Little Earth is the only urban-owned Indian housing project in the United States. 212 units, all Native families. We had Indian preference.
And they're gonna. You said they're gonna.
If they demolish this building, that's going to put arsenic in the air, even if they tent it. And that's going to directly affect our people. We have the highest rate of asthma with our kids. We have our youth farm right over there. You could go take a look. It's beautiful. That's going to release them toxins back onto their soil when they've been trucking in soil for the last 6 years to get rid of all the toxics that were in it. The city didn't care. They don't care, so we've been battling, and we've exhausted every resource with the exception of the Minnesota Supreme Court. And we're here to make sure that they don't demolish this building at all, because it's not fair to do that to a community that's here, take this so I can talk better. This community is the most diverse community in the state of Minnesota. East Phillips is the most diverse. With Little Earth right here, we have the highest number of Native Americans in the 9th Ward. This is the most polluted ward there is. And they want to tear down a building and add more pollution to it. Our children have asthma. We have people who are under 25. We've lost 4 of our people that were born and raised at Little Earth. Anywhere else, people would be doing investigations, not here. This is just outright environmental racism. And they don't care what they do to us, because they don't feel like we have a voice because they have more money than us. But not this time, you know. They can't tear down this building because our children's lives are at risk. And trying to offer us, the city has offered us 3 acres and all this and that, and it's like, why are you offering us something? Because we're not willing to take it because you're talking about our children. And they just don't seem to understand. And that's what this battle is about. It's about our children and their rates of asthma and getting sick, and some of our youth dying young for no reason. People who have never had heart problems in their families.
And there's like a gravel. The city's put a gravel pit right here, right? It's like a gravel pit, and then there's a foundry. So this neighborhood is already surrounded by all.
That's the Smith Foundry over there. The garbage things right there. The Smith Foundry is really bad, and I'm gonna, you know, they were grandfathered in, so they do their own pollution testing. Yeah. Nobody comes in and tests them. They test their own shit. Okay, you live at Little Earth in the summertime. All of a sudden, you're outside. You'll see this big black cloud. But by the time you report it, it's gone, you know? How the hell does somebody get to test for their own pollution when they're a big thing like that? Only in East Phillips, only in Minneapolis, only in a neighborhood where there's poor people and minority people. And you think the city would want to stop? No, they want to keep piling it on. They could have went other places. One of the places they went, they're going to build condos. They didn't want to build there because that was a better neighborhood and a richer neighborhood. They want to make sure this neighborhood is so polluted that all of us either die or get out.
And then so the Roof Depot too, like there was a proposition to turn it into a community center, or what was the?
It's like, it would be like, so there'd be like a lot of small businesses in there. Little Earth would love to be a part of that building and have a second phase of aquaponics, because our goal is to do aquaponics with our youth to make them more green. Also, there'd be small businesses in there, an urban farm, an indoor urban farm. There'd be housing on top. You know, it was all mapped out, and then all of a sudden the city came in and swiped it out from under them. They keep saying, oh, that building's no good, it's got molded, but they won't let us in there to see it now. They won't let us in there so we can say you're lying, so we can show people. If it was that bad, the city would let us in there and look at it. They won't, because they know it's not that bad and they're praying it gets worse and worse. That's an old Sears building originally. That was Sears's. So you know it's going to last forever.
And this is like was this area a green zone or something like that?
This area is the green zone, and it also is one of the arsenic triangles that were so high in arsenic that they came in and had to remove all the topsoils from these houses.
Oh wow!
Including Little Earth. We were part of that arsenic triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the green part of the green zone.
And the green zone was this idea to revitalize like Minneapolis through
and the urban areas and all of that.
Yeah, and
they
so
don't follow through.
Yeah.
They don't follow through, and it's a crying shame that people vote for people who don't support them. Mm-hmm. Their votes matter, and they need to vote for people who are going to listen to them and people who care about not just their little block, but the whole world, because it affects us.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yep, you're welcome. I wish Cassie Holmes was here. She's better.
All right, well, if she shows up, just send her my way. Like I said, there's a little more context. I'm going to try to keep getting interviews about what's going on here. This is the roof depot. This is the arsenic triangle. There's already a lot of pollution in this area, high levels of asthma, a very diverse, most diverse neighborhood. And they're now trying to add more pollution, what they're saying. By destroying this, they're going to add even more pollution to an already impacted area that is supposed to be being sort of revitalized, and the revitalization that the city has taken. I understand this is this idea of this green zone where they're going to do all this sort of like environmental turnaround of the area, and their view of a green zone is to demolish a building that sits on top of a bunch of arsenic to release it to the area, and that's what we're being told. The folks are here, so we're going to keep walking around, see if I can get some more interviews. And like I said, the police are here. They're just kind of staying back. They're going to stay back for probably a bit. People won't be allowed to do stuff as long as they feel. And they're also probably bringing in more resources and getting their PR ready. Because, again, Minneapolis is... Yeah, they've done a lot of stupid shit. We'll watch the tippy go up.
They're over here.
Right behind the TV.
Right.
It's right on that rope. Did you ever spot? Well, the door's going to be south, so put the canvas pulled south.
There's an unmarked vehicle over here as well. See people setting up tents. Again, they plan to stay. People, this is a large houseless community here as well, who's living through winter all the time. So sadly, a lot of experience having to deal with these sort of elements. And a lot of folks here are like advocates working with like the houseless community and knows what you got to do to kind of survive. So they have tarps they're already putting over. I think hopefully they put something down below the tent, so it shouldn't be on the concrete. So we have vehicle 306. I think it's some unmarked vehicle. Kind of curious if I can get who that is. DFS 266, unmarked police vehicle. And then it's chatting again. They're just gonna be observing for a bit, I bet. And you can see this TP's coming up. We'll be live for a bit. I think I'll probably be live for like an hour. and then we'll take the feed down for a while and wait for the press conference. But we just wanted to bring you out right as things kicked off here. Roof Depot site. I don't know if you can. I don't think we can make it out because it's backlit. But this is sort of like this symbol. It says Roof Depot on top of it. And there was plans for this building that the community was trying to put forward. The city vetoed it last minute, from my understanding. I'm slurring that with you as well from what people are telling us. And yeah, I know they're gonna demolish it. From my understanding, they wanted to expand this gravel pit, you know, for the people, I guess. I don't know. And there's already a lot of different industry in this area that's polluting. You know, they have a gravel pit. There's a foundry. There's been a lot of like high asthma. You're hearing that folks tell us, and it's been ongoing, an ongoing battle. Like the person we talked to was talking about how this is like years and years of conversations that led to like the city basically. You can see here the sign says "Frey, stop it." If you don't know, the mayor of Minneapolis is Frey, Jacob Frey. And so people are like tired of the options they're being given by the city and are taking matters in their own hands. They're setting up a teepee, setting up an encampment right before a giant snowstorm. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, look at that. You know, a lot of cities, I can see they're bringing more wood. They're working on this teepee going up. Let's see what's here. Yeah, we're just gonna be live for a bit. We'll wait for this teepee to go up, and then we'll make some decisions if we stay up or not. This will probably be in stasis for a while. We'll wait for the press conference. Like, more than likely, this is my experience. I think the police will stay back for quite a bit. So they're gonna be coming in here until they have like a good press strategy in play, and they're probably trying to do all sorts of stuff. Again, I've been in Minneapolis for a while. It's kind of goes down. Let's see if there's anything. Is there any like anything anybody can be doing to help right now who's online?
Calling the Minneapolis City Council.
Alright.
You could call the Minneapolis City Council, all of the council members, call the mayor's office, call Minnesota state legislators. And the other thing that you can do is donate to EPNI, that's EPNI, that's the environmental, what is that, East Phillips, what's that stand?
Neighborhood Institute?
Yeah, East Phillips Neighborhood Institute. You can donate to them. There's a GoFundMe, and just, you know, get the word out there about what we're doing, that we're making this stand here on unceded, stolen treaty land. There was a treaty back in the 1800s. There was actually 3 treaties signed under Fort Snelling, and those treaties were never honored by the United States government. So this land here falls under those treaties that were never honored. There was payment that was supposed to go to the Dakota people, and that payment was never received. So we're standing here on stolen land as Indigenous people in prayer and ceremony in a good way, making a stand to, you know, say that enough is enough. And you know, it's not just only that we're asking for no demolition. There's plans that we have for this space. It would be full indoor aquaponic systems, solar array that would bring jobs to our community, space for our unhoused, you know, maybe like a tiny house village and that sort of thing. So we're asking the city that instead of making deals with developers, you know, they're supposed to be working for the people, and we're here as the people, you know, not just indigenous, but there's all the allies and community members here of South Minneapolis, and this is what we're asking for. We're asking for this space to be returned to our people so that it can be a community-driven and community-led center that we can feed our people in a environmentally and just in healthy way. You know, as indigenous people, we're not truly sovereign unless we can feed our people. And right now our people here, you know, Little Earth United Tribes is just 2 blocks that way. And, you know, everybody is just trying to survive day to day. And having this here would give us the ability to make sure that everybody has access to clean, affordable produce and healthy foods for our people. So.
Thank you. Also, you hear there, you could be calling the mayor's office, city councilmen, senators, the Minnesota senators, just letting people know that this is going on, and that people are trying to make a stand here for the future generations, for the children, for the adults everyone's being affected by this, but also this, you know. So I'm going to move out to the sign to look at this. There's a GoFundMe too. I think that the website's right actually out here. Excuse me. Can I talk? Little Earth Protector. So I'll do a walk around the outside again, and then we'll go back in. You can see the teepees going up. EPNIfarm.org. You can check that out. It's February 26th. There's a block party here. You can check this out. The fire was moved over. Oh, the teepee's almost up. We'll go back in. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna be live for a little bit. Then we'll probably be around for a while. But I just wanted to show the kickoff of this occupation.
Look at all the stuff I'm falling over. Be careful, everybody.
I mean, always in the car, right? We're gonna go knock on the door. Okay, thank you.
There's a few tents set up now.
Okay, can you find out where the very top end holes are? Okay, hold her up because she's going to have to let go. She wants to do that. Okay, we'll be back in 2 hours. Okay, to prevent this from collapsing, can you find a TP pole? Brace it. Find a spot.
Can someone stabilize the back of my legs more?
All right.
I'm gonna throw my glove down.
Okay.
So this is gonna be up for.
Are you guys Medicaid?
Yeah, people are flying on the ice. It's very slippery out here. It's been like snowing and above 30, 40, melting. Snowing on top of the melted
Come
ice.
down lower.
It's been pretty treacherous.
I need to get lower. You can sit over there.
You're sliding forward. Scoot your butt backwards. You're sliding forward. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, one more pin.
Lower.
You got 2. Number 3.
Yeah, I would like to come. Oh, okay. Can I,
Put this on the hip. On the hip. Put your hand right there. Put your hand underneath there.
okay. Ready.
Right there.
Oh wow, people are like, I just realized it's, yeah, they're like on top of each other. They're holding each other up. So there's like somebody there, somebody holding them, and then that person's on top of them, and they're putting this teepee, the pegs to the teepee liner. You can see this is what they're doing.
The ally ladder.
The ally ladder is what it's called. Oh, that's not a good noise.
Alright, I think I can come down now. And we can reach.
People are getting there.
Could you lean forward onto her? Come down. Come down. And then tallest person get up. Okay, you stay. Stay. Come down. You down here.
Nice.
You down here. Woo. Okay. You know what she's doing, right? Not really. Okay, you do it. Okay, I'll go out of your way.
Let me see if I can see anything in the chat here.
I'll get my backpack out of the way. Okay. Can you still do it?
Thanks, Allie. That went hard. Yeah, we're dropping this stuff in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it. Again, we are in Minneapolis, Minnesota. occupation beginning around the roof depot. This building is slated to be demolished. People who are occupying are saying that if it's demolished, it's in the arsenic triangle. You can look all this up on the internet if you're on the internet, which I assume you are if you're watching. And if it's on the arsenic triangle, there's a bunch of like Superfund sites in the area. And if they demolish it, it'll release basically a plume of arsenic into the neighborhoods, what they're saying. And already there's a foundry that releases plumes of pollution in the neighborhood. They said there's a gravel pit over here with a lot of trucks that come through the neighborhood that pollutes the area pretty highly. They're saying there's very like large amounts of asthma affecting folks, and then it's right next to Little Earth, which is like this indigenous community here in Minneapolis. And so people feel like they've exhausted all their options. And they haven't, because this is an option, I guess. So they're going with the direct action route. They're taking over the space to make it clear that they'll want this to be demolished. You can see the teepee is going up. Over here you have a small encampment that's expanding. It started out with a sunrise ceremony, a spirit fire being lit. There was a pipe ceremony. That was all done before we went live. So it was begun in ceremony by indigenous folks here on this territory. And yeah, they're going to hold the space. And it's like just joining, the police did come through, but they backed off already. They'll probably not be around for a bit, I'm guessing. Maybe they'll come back after the press release, but yeah, just, you know, they'll just kind of wait. That's what the police in Minneapolis will do. There's a lot of people who are really mad. The police should do something, but the police don't want to cause attention. Is what they've learned over years, and so they've learned that they can pull back and let things sort of like kind of move on their own. Hopefully it'll go away and there won't be a large attention brought when the police come in to clear it. Again, the police have been clearing houseless encampments in Minneapolis constantly. In the early morning, they'll put out warnings. They're going to, you know, evict those camps, and then they don't show up at the time they said they're going to do it. Again, very common if you're in an encampment. There's going to be like a million times where you're being told they're going to evict the encampment. It causes these heightened moments where all these people will come and then they leave because they get tired, and usually that's when the police will come in. It's usually like the day after, you know, or a couple days after, or it's just never usually right on time because they're trying to so lessen the amount there to lessen the attention given. So I can see if I can try another interview. There's a few interviews in here already. I'm hoping we can get them cut out for you so you can kind of see them, so you have a little more context. Again, I'm just learning about what's going on as well. I just got here, piecing this together with people I'm talking to here and there. I have known about the roof depot for a minute. I've been in Minneapolis. Actually, full disclosure, I actually worked on videos about the green zone and what they wanted to turn the roof depot into. Which was received, I would say, really positively. It's like these neighborhood green zones. There's gonna be all this development to like further just like revitalize the neighborhoods. And there's these green zones. They're part of like this, I think, like this giant Minneapolis plan. That already you can see what, you know, what they decided a green zone is to demolish a building that's top of an arsenic pond and release it into the neighborhood. That's what we're being told. And so we're going to be here, we're going to be listening. Again, the police are lurking about. They're going to probably not do anything for a bit. They're probably watching this feed too. Just let you know, cops, we know you're here, and you're more than likely not going to do stuff for a bit based on your previous behaviors for a while. And yeah. But you know, there's a bunch of media people here as well besides me. So if I do go down, there's like other live streams and people doing media. There's a lot of people on their phones.
You can't get it really much tighter without stakes in the ground.
So yeah, so there's a teepee up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tents are up. There's a fire. I think this is the spirit fire over here. Well, hopefully not. Everyone's smoking around it. It's over there. Good conversations. Yeah, that fire. Hello, Evil. Somebody watching on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're going to stay live for a bit. I'll probably keep it up for probably another hour, I think. Just wandering around again. People have been setting up their encampment, and they're going to keep setting it up. That's probably what's going to be going on for a bit. I don't expect anything to change. We spoke to a few different speakers. Let's see if. Let's get some more folks. Oh, he talks to.
Definitely bigger stuff.
I'm really happy. Oh my God.
It feels good.
Yeah, that's I know. Cassie, do you think that you guys have any extra sage for me and Chris? Because we're running out. I think
That's all I have.
That's all you have. Okay.
That's all. He fixed it somewhere.
Okay. I'll have to ask around. Do they have sage in the
You looking for creamer? I can
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking about having it.
So it's a really exciting time.
I like that.
A lot of different things going on.
You can see there's a family showing up now. Hi, are you Cassie? Do you have like context about what's going on here today? Do you want to talk about it on camera?
Oh yeah.
I'm with the Indian Collective.
Okay.
So just let us know what's going on. Why are people
Okay,
here?
so in the about 10 years ago, oh, thank you. There was a community who wanted this property, and we had actually some casinos that were willing to put money in to back up the community's plan for here. We weren't exactly sure what we wanted here. We just know we wanted this space, and it was right next to our community, and we're by bituminous roadways and Smith Foundry. So we thought, let's put something here that can help start get rid of some of this toxic pollution that we have, because we're at our limit. And the city threatened eminent domain. The guy who sold it told us that they did, and they took it from underneath us, and we never knew. We were still moving forward. And then all of a sudden we found out that they had threatened eminent domain, got this space, and then we had start raising hell. So they start coming into our community trying to hold meetings about what they were going to do here. The very first time that they had a meeting was for East Phillips, but they forgot to involve Little Earth, all of Little Earth. And my Aunt Jolene Jones, who was the executive director interim at the time of LIRA, had found out and went over there and called them out. So when they admitted that they forgot to flyer and let Little Earth residents know, they had a meeting at Little Earth. And then from that meeting, the city was like, you know what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 people from each community within the East Phillips community, because we're so diverse, and we're going to create a guidelines advisory committee, which we called GAC. So we went there, and basically what it was is that they were telling us, this is our plan, and we want you to decide what you like best out of our plan. That was them including us. Karen Clark, who was our state representative at the time. So Karen Clark and Linda Berglund, who are both retired state representatives, have a state law that's specific for East Phillips. It's an environmental justice law that has to do about cumulative pollution. And so the city right now, I myself and East Phillips Neighborhood Institute, EPNI, are suing the city because of the state law. Because any entity that comes into this community to do anything have to go by an environmental assessment worksheet and show what kind of footprint they're leaving, what kind of pollution that they're adding on with the polluters that I talked about, the bituminous and Smith, and the city said they don't have to follow that. So we're suing them on that state law. And Karen Clark, at the time when we had those meetings, one of their facilitators from the state literally went after Karen Clark for correcting him because he was speaking on her law. And she said, that's not true, this is what it is. And he came at her just like this. And it was so threatening that I had to have my mace ready, because I thought, is he going to attack an elder? She's an elder, and she's our state representative. So that was the day the community was like, we are not giving up our seats, but we're not going to stay here if our state representative, an elder, and a community member is not welcome here, not safe here. And we really decided that's where East Phillips Neighborhood was really born from. East Phillips Neighborhood Institute was kind of born from that. So we all came together, and then we are here fighting over 10 years. They thought they were going to have this knocked down and built already, but we've been fighting them this long. And the city council voted in our favor. and then the mayor vetoed it. So he vetoed our community, our kids, because he wants to knock this down, and he does land acknowledgement. He's bullshit.
Yeah, he was at the MIW event. He was
tried.
Out. Yeah, right.
I was hoping he could get up front so we could all hold him accountable and try to ask some questions, but he didn't make it that far, unfortunately. So, but if I was part of that planning committee, if we had known, me and my aunt, we would have let them know that he was not welcome here in our community, because he don't give a shit about us. So, I know I'm talking fast. I'm trying to put it all together.
Just take your time.
Yeah.
Let everyone know.
So we're here right now, like so the mayor vetoed it. And then we had another vote, and we had some council members vote in our favor who's never voted for us before, ever. Like, they were totally against ethnic and, the plan, the community plan. But they voted yes this time. And that's kind of funny, because they knew we weren't going to win, so they used this because they're up for re-election. And so I think they used this as an opportunity, and someone guided them. I don't know who. So, but yeah, the whole point is that if they do this, they're going to release arsenic in the air that is even more poisonous than what they originally thought when they cleaned up all 500 plus homes and businesses soil from here, because we are in a Southside Green Zone. We were an arsenic triangle. We were a Superfund site. And all that the Superfund site has been taken away. We're still in a green zone, but they're going to release arsenic, and it's so dangerous. And they want to bring in a total of 888 vehicles. This is in their plan that's on the website, and most of those diesel trucks.
Yeah.
And we already have over 100,000 vehicles that travel through East Phillips, diesel trucks, daily. So if they do that and they bring in 888 more vehicles, that's going to probably triple it's not going to it's going to triple. It's going to triple, and it's going to add to the asthma that's already in the air. Everything goes against that environmental justice law from Karen Clark and Linda Berglund. It's a state law, and it's very specific. East Phillips is the only one that has it.
Yeah. Do you know the name of it by any chance?
The environmental justice law. It's the Clark Berglund law, state law.
Clark.
Yep. Right. So Karen Clark, Linda Berglund, they were state representatives, and they're both retired now. Environmental justice law talks about cumulative pollution from entities in this community.
And so right now you're trying to sue using that law, but the city's trying to demolish this as quickly as possible, right? Yeah,
because we actually lost in court, and now we put an appeals in. Our lawyer, who's Elizabeth Royal, and Miles, I can't think of his last name, I'm sorry, but we put an appeals into the Supreme Court now to hold off on demolition.
Okay, and then can you speak more to? You said this is a green zone. Like, what's
Southside green zone? So the city actually put together the green zone for North Side and South Side, and the most areas that have pollution, toxic pollution, the most the poor BIPOC communities that are the most affected. So the city put it together, saying that we recognize it's polluted. We recognize we need to do better, and we're going to work with communities to do that. So really the city put this, and it was just all talk like always, like they are, because they're not following any of the Southside Green Zone recommendations and stuff. So
so it's the Southside Green Zone. The way they're going to green it up is by demolishing the building and releasing arsenic, is what you're saying.
And bringing in 888 vehicles and workers from outside this community. Yep. And they, in their original plans, they had wanted to build something called a sand lot, and they had told us in a meeting, I'm like, what is the sand lot? They said, this is where we're going to train our employees, and we'll hire your community. We're going to train our employees, and we're going to train them how to run vehicles and equipment, and that they run on diesel. And I said, okay, so, and it was indoors. And I was like, you're going to kill your employees. And they said, don't worry about it. We'll have a ventilator. We have a ventilation system. Our employees are safe. And I'm like, so you're going to ventilate it out into our community, and you want us to say that's okay? It's not okay. So they changed that plan. And some of their plans that are on their website now are kind of like almost similar to what the community wants. But in all reality, we know that if the city is able to tear this down, they can totally go back to their old plans. They can do whatever they want. They say they want to give us 3 acres, but I had a council member ask me in my face, do you want clean water or do you want clean air? And I was like, I didn't know I had to decide. I want both because I deserve both. And then she also said, well, don't you guys want jobs? And I said, yeah, we want jobs, but jobs we can be proud of, jobs that people, they could be at work and their kids are at home slowly being murdered. dying, and then all their check is going to have to go for medical bills. So, and I had a council member ask me that to my face.
Do you have any suggestions of what people who are watching, what they could do right now, or how they could help, or anything?
I feel like at this point, because people are occupying, you know, bringing stuff that is really needed. We don't need a bunch of, I don't want to say don't bring a bunch of clothes to people here. That's just going to pile up. But wood, tobacco, water, anything hot. And also, if you want to support the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute and myself that we're suing the city, you can go onto Facebook, East Phillips Neighborhood Institute, EPNI Facebook, or any social media site. And we have ways that you can help us. You can donate. You can donate money for our fight, our legal fight. You can spread the word. You can talk to community members, to talk to their council members, because their vote is what matters, and they're the ones who are voting right now against us too, along with the mayor. So you can reach out to the mayor, reach out to the council members. All their information is public information, and you can say we support the East Phillips Urban Farm in the community, and they don't want to die. They have every right to live, every right to breathe clean air, and every right to have their community vision possible, because not only is it a gift for our community, this is something that Minneapolis can use and say, look at this, we are doing something that other cities aren't. We're actually going to let our community do something in our community that they know is best for them, and this is going to change not only our environment, right, for the better, but it's also going to help the community, because it's going to change the way that we're going to have. The plan is that the community will have ownership of this, so we'll change the dynamics of our community also. So they go on EPNI.
EPNI.
Yep, and there's a lot of supporters out there that have a lot of other things going on, and I love that, and I support them, and thank you for supporting us. But know that it's East Phillips Neighborhood Institute, and make sure that you are on the EPNI, because we do have a lot of supporters out there, and I love them and I appreciate them. But I want to make sure that, like, if any funds are given, they're given to the right source, so we can give it to our lawyers and continue our fight.
And what can you explain what Little Earth is again?
So Little Earth is a one-of-a-kind Indian preference housing in the country. The only one in the urban area. There was at one point, I don't know if it still is, 38 different tribes recognized. So this is a form of modern-day genocide. So if they are successful with this, they will reach 38 different tribes at one time at one place, and this is going to affect our generations to come. So Little Earth is so unique and so much needed, and there's nothing else like it in the country. So.
And did the mayor Jacob Frey did he give any statements to why he vetoed this, or?
He says what he told me, and I don't know if he's made statements otherwise, that he's like, the arsenic is not that bad.
Oh.
And I said, are we talking about the same arsenic that was dug up years ago because of how poisonous it was? And he said, yes. I said, so it's poisonous. Then he said, well, we're going to make sure that we protect the community. And we, EPNI, has asked him very specifically, and along with the contractors, how are you going to do that? Tell us how you're going to do that, so we can tell our community members this is how you plan to do it. So what they said was they were going to water it down so it don't fly in the air as much. But other than that, they can't. But they will collect the data on how many more people in our community become sick or go to the hospital. That's the data they can collect. And I don't know how that's going to protect us. He's just going to collect the data on how much more we get hurt. So he really hasn't been able to answer any of those questions, or the contractors. And they keep saying, oh, but we're going to make sure the cars, they're electric in the city. But I said, so can you guarantee that East Phillips will be the first community that you have those cars electric? And he's like, oh, yeah, I can do that. But he's looked me in my eye and lied before. So I don't trust that. And then he also said, but then, we have cars that are perfectly good. So we're not going to just make it electric right away. They have to run out and die and stop working. And then they have the diesel trucks and equipment that cannot be made electric. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Did you want to give your name at all? I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So Boujou relatives, Cassandra Holmes. My spirit name is Niwin Makwaikwe, for Bears Woman, and I'm a resident at Little Earth of United Tribes, and I'm also part of the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute.
All right, right on. Thank you so much.
Where are you from? Oh,
I'm also from Lakota Ray in Wisconsin. That's my res. So,
Right on.
good.
All right, so we're gonna keep trying to do more and more. Well, I think that's probably the interviews. I think that was a lot of context if folks don't know what's going on here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that you kind of get it. So it looks like the city council that voted to turn this into like a community center, that's gonna be supporting the neighborhood, and then the mayor, Jacob Frey, who I don't know, maybe he's watching this, vetoed that and said that the arsenic was not poisonous, according to the Cassie we just spoke to. It wasn't poisonous, even though the history of this area is they had to cart away the topsoil because it was so toxic before they could put housing here. And it's still, from what people are saying, a very toxic area. So yeah, wow. All right, let me just think for a bit. Again, thanks for joining us. We're just live here. I'm gonna walk and look around really quick. So just general thing, if you're in events like this, like, it's good to try to keep a lookout on the edges. You get super hyper focused on the event itself and you forget what's coming up behind you. So I'm kind of looking around really quick, just to get a lay. And I think I don't know, if people want me to keep this up, let me know. I guess like in the chat, I can keep it up for a bit. I am concerned about the battery. It's super cold. I think it's like, feels like negative something. It's supposed to get to like a whopping 9 degrees or something like that today. And so it's pretty cold. My gear is definitely being affected. The battery is draining faster than I would like, and I did not bring a giant external like I had planned to.
Having this grounded culture and community, having those resources for our people. And we're asking the city of Minneapolis, who are supposed to work for the people, to stop working for this development.
So I'm gonna walk out and look around and then come back. Yep, we'll do it. Oh, thank you. Honored. Unless if you'll put some sand down, you can see. We certainly didn't put the sand down. The people did. All kind of thing. So I'm just walking around. Take a look. You can see that the unmarked vehicles are gone. Usually if we had like, you have like people roaming around the area trying to see if there's any sort of like place where the police are kind of coming together. But I assume that they're going to stay back for a bit. There'll probably be this press conference that happens. And it'll be pretty chill for a while. So I'm trying to decide if I keep it up. I feel like we know what's going on here now. We know that there's an encampment. We know that it's expanding. We know there's wood. They're calling for more people to come. And now people are just holding the space. Hey. Yeah, good to see you too. I'm live, so I have to keep doing this thing.
We'll get some content for live.
All right, what's going on here?
Hey, Rory.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
You too. Thank you for being here, Rory.
Thank you. Yeah. And this might be redundant. I didn't hear what
It's
else
fine.
was
Just keep
said.
saying it over and over again.
Yeah. But so in this area, Little Earth specifically, like kids and folks, it's high rates of asthma and heart disease. There's, Hiawatha runs there, the highway's there, and then Cedar's just full of traffic, so it's always smog here.
Yeah.
And it's causing our kids to be sick. well, everyone to be sick.
So I just started following around.
And then, like they said before, this was so bad with arsenic because of their fertilizer. I forget what they put in it. But the MPCA did like remediate soil in the whole area, varied per lawn, and then some landlords didn't do it. So not all, but like I'd say over 90%. And we've tried doing like getting gardens to grow food in the yards, and they kind of put the brakes on that because it's only like surface area soil that was remediated. So for things to grow in, and they don't know what's coming, still coming up and whatnot, so we can't even really grow food. Nice heater buddies. And then so the city's made a promise to have this like a green zone, and there's a whole initiative to get green projects going and whatnot. And there's a beautiful plan to use the space and keep the arsenic in the ground and not dig it up. And turn this into a green space incubator with ideas from the community they worked really hard on and just got ignored. So that's just city, and the city with the green zones money has been basically paying folks from the city to have input for what they want the city to be. And so with this, they're just flat out ignoring it. And the last I heard, they didn't even do an environmental impact study to see before they're going to dig all this up and kick all the dust around. And I guess the strategy is do it in the winter when there's no dust and everyone's inside or something. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially when there's such a great idea to turn this into not only a green space but green economy in the neighborhood.
I like that it's in a green zone, and their idea that for a green zone is to demolish the thing and release a bunch of arsenic.
Right. And then last I heard, there's going to be like a diesel parking lot, so then that's more diesel trucks coming in and out.
I was going to say like hundreds of vehicles, diesel vehicles will be parked and driving here. And like you said, there's a main, if you're not from Minneapolis, there's a main thoroughfare right there, lots of traffic, see there?
Yeah.
And then right here is Hiawatha, right on the other side of this building, which is a giant thoroughfare. There's tons of vehicles on there all day, so it's already, it's surrounded.
94, just a couple blocks on less than a half mile away.
Yeah, so it's just surrounded by massive traffic, and we want to look into what the exhaust of the place is.
Right. The exhaust is already bad, so to have diesels just sitting here warming up, staying running during the winter, like it's just,
It's rough.
Yeah. You're welcome. It's my 2 cents.
No, I don't.
Interview Cassie.
Oh yeah, that's
She was really informative. Where'd she go? If I find her, I'll bring her out. Okay. What's up, man?
how's it going?
And I've been trying to get like the supporting team.
All right, we're gonna move back over here. Yeah, so people are hanging out. There you go, Minneapolis. Cold. There's fires now.
You know what? And actually,
Move over here a second. Yeah, people are just holding this space. And again, you know, there's already a strong, you know, a lot of like these communities, poorer communities, are surrounded by like interstates and massive roadways, and they kind of like get showered with exhaust. This is just another one of those communities that are doing that too, and they're trying to bring in more diesel vehicles to be idling here in this area. It's already really highly impacted, and it's also in what the city calls the green zone. I thought it was really interesting. I know a little bit about the green zone because I did some work around them, and so the city, it sounded like what Rory was saying is the city is using the money they allocate for green zones to advocate for the demolition of this building. You know, so like there's a plan put in place, and then it sounds like there is money allocated to, you know, green, you know, help the environment, clean the soil up more, try to revitalize, you know, all these words. But then they're using that money to advocate for destroying the buildings, you know, classic. That's what we're hearing here, you know, I'm saying, like maybe see what happens. Let me take a look.
And then if it is, should I just cancel the appointment schedule if you don't let
Give me 1 second here. Hey yo, do you have an inverter in your vehicle at all? Like a charge of like a 3-prong?
Yeah, my gas is low. How long do you need it to run?
I don't know. I can go somewhere else.
I can go fill up real quick and come back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
It has an outlet. You can just plug it.
Yeah, I'll probably need a charge just to make sure I'm up in case something happens. I don't think.
I could probably run for 10-15 minutes before gas gets ready.
Oh no, it's something. I got like 2 hours left. I'm just trying to think of the future.
Oh.
So it's not like a pressing thing, but just something to think about if I can eventually be able to charge. But also, I don't know. Yeah.
I also have like a Gold Zero battery pack at home.
Yeah, that's all good. I should have. I had set out all these battery packs. And I didn't bring one because I'm a genius. That's how it goes.
Well, and then when they freeze too, it's.
I know that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure everything's being like just dominated by the cold. But I have a whole other battery for this, and then I have probably 2 hours on this. It's all good.
Oh, there was a truck just sitting there running too.
Yeah. Fred asked if we needed anything for your left.
Did he?
Yeah. So you can come back.
All right.
Oh, firewood is going to be a constant need. Firewood is going to be a constant need. And then I have a Friday warrior meeting. And then
So actually, if you look on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, I looked last night. There's a bunch of free firewood.
most go online, so then I take a class. I think it would be good for that because she.
I was gonna take. Sorry. I was gonna take the feed down for a bit. I don't know if you wanted to like just sort of like tell people again where we're at, how to get involved, and sort
Yeah,
of,
I can do that.
Yeah, and then there's a press conference.
It's at 1.
It's at 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, let's go. You want to go back over here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just rolling.
Tance, gananasmo na nanasmo napsisa na hiwak. You know, we're here. We started this occupation today, February the 21st, 2023, at the Roof Depot as the indigenous people here grounded in prayer and ceremony. We started today with sunrise ceremony. We filled our pipes. We lit the spirit fire. And we're here to stay until our demands are met. We have a press conference happening today at 1 p.m. here at 27th and Longfellow. We invite everybody to come to that, and we also invite everybody to come here to this camp. You know, come and make your offering to the fire. Come say hello. Share, you know, feeds like this and different information on all of your social media platforms. Call the city of Minneapolis. Call the city council. Call the mayor. Call the Minnesota state legislators, and let them know that, you know, as the indigenous people, that we're making a stand here on this stolen, unceded land, that these treaties were never honored, and that we're laying claim to this space, that we're asking for this space to be returned to the community and to the people so that we can create a center here that's positive, environmentally friendly. I also want to make that call out to our warriors, you know, our water protectors, our land defenders, to come here and make a stand with us. We've got more teepees coming, we've got tents up, we've got a warming tent going up, we've got a camp kitchen that's getting ready to go up over there, and we're in this for the long haul, so we need everybody here that's willing to come.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard there, that's 27th and Longfellow, South Minneapolis. More tents going up. Lots of tents already up. People are just milling around fires now. They're going to be holding this space together. And we'll see where it kind of goes from here. We're going to stick around. I might take this feed down for a bit just to save the batteries. It's very cold outside, so my batteries are getting kind of like punched around. And I'm going to see if I can kind of charge stuff up just to make sure it's up. We'll be back for the 1 p.m. press conference, it sounds like. And I think it's by then the snow's going to be here. It's really interesting just how clear it is. There's supposed to be this like 2 feet of snow coming. And right now it's just really calm. You wouldn't even suspect it. I'm just going to walk around the space one more time so you can see all these tents that have been set up. And so I said it's an occupation. They want people to hold this space and asking for more people to come out. You can see there's people hanging around the fire. Very Minneapolis. Things go down. Like I've been at a protest here that just come together and people will bring out fire pits and firewood right away, take space together, rallies, and it's just like really kind of common. So we're gonna walk over here, take a look at the place. You can see this is the building that they're talking about that they don't want to be demolished. They want to keep it, everything that's under the ground. And yeah, the arsenic triangle stuff, like when I was doing the work on the green zones, we heard about it, that they had to cart away all of the soil. It was like a Superfund site. It was so polluted you couldn't grow things. I had to take this topsoil out, and they put that somewhere, and that area was a Superfund site because the topsoil was so toxic. And then they built houses on it. So this is what his neighborhood is on top of. And yeah, just kind of like interesting to kind of learn about, you know, the Superfund site, the green zones, sort of like the mayor vetoing the approval for the community's plan. That's why, and then we were at the MIW event on the 14th. There was a bunch of commotion in the back. You can kind of hear it go down. I didn't know what was going on. And later I learned it's because the mayor showed up. And again, the indigenous community is a bunch of different people. You know, we're not a monolith. There's a bunch of different kinds of indigenous folks. And someone invited the mayor to speak there, and then others had been like, hey, listen, the mayor just vetoed our plan. Like he shouldn't be here. He's not supporting indigenous people. And so they kicked him out. Told him to leave. You can find those photos on the internet. But so I'm going to move back to the entrance, and then we're going to bring this down for a bit. And then we'll come back for the press conference. And then we'll see what we do from there. And then I'll just be around in case things like escalate and, you know, we need to just witness what's going to go on again. Vehicle 308 of the police just showed up again, just parked there. Again, Minneapolis police really been changing their policing styles for a bit. I've been in the streets here for a while watching it happen, and so more likely that's what's going to be going on for a while until they feel like they can move in. And again, usually the police show up to observe. They might like walk through and cause tension, but they pull back until they have enough police officers to actually like do what they want to do. So they'll wait till they get forces up. And right now I'm sure they're just kind of like watching and don't want more attention to come to this event, and so they're going to be holding back until they can't anymore, basically. And folks plan to stay here in the cold. And again, let me see. All right. All right, I think I'm going to pull it down now. Again, if you are curious what's going on, you can go back there. I think I got like 3 pretty good interviews to get pretty good contacts. And definitely check that out. Again, my name is Lorenzo Serna. My pronouns they, them. I'm Chicanx. I'm the director of technical media here at the NDN Collective. Really thankful you're joining us to bear witness to what's going on and support how you can. A lot of options to support. They're telling folks to call the City Council, call the Mayor's office, call Minnesota Senator's office, is saying that they support the East Phillips neighborhood to turn this into a positive thing for the neighborhood over a negative thing. They feel it'll be negative.
Okay. Well, I was going to but I called it a people. Right? With no, with the,
Who was that?
I don't know.
Alright, everybody, I think pull it down for a bit. We'll be back in a while. I'm live for I don't know how long am I live for. Alright, we'll be back soon. Keep following NDN Collective, Roof Depot, Minneapolis, Minnesota, the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute on Facebook for more updates for sure. They'll probably be the most up-to-date. I would really suggest if you're interested in this to keep following that platform because they'll be updating on this pretty constantly. And then we'll be here at 1 p.m. for the press conference. And then from there, we don't really know what will happen. So, again, thanks for being here. We'll talk soon.